Yesterday, we started to see a huge jump in the number of coronavirus cases being reported in China. There were more than 10,000 new cases in just a day. Let's connect the dots between the greater number of cases and the new way officials are reporting on this virus. Yesterday, China reported close to 15,000 coronavirus cases, compared to about 1,600 cases the day before. But that doesn't mean that the virus is exploding. It means a province in China is changing the way it is reporting cases. Now it is including all the people with the symptoms of coronavirus. That includes fever, cough, shortness of breath. Before, they were only reporting people who actually tested positive. So why the change? Experts believe China is running out of testing kits. There are also questions about how reliable those tests are. So far, this new criteria is only being used in the Chinese province where most of the world's cases are concentrated. But if this new reporting criteria is used across China, we could see far more alarming numbers.